Welcome to the Inclusive Leadership Coaching Podcast. I'm Terri Donohue, your Neurospicy inclusion coach. I am an ICF PCC life and leadership coach, passionate about social justice and specializing in neurodiversity. My purpose on this journey is to partner with you as you build an inclusive coaching practice that expands your impact. Here on the Inclusive Leadership Coaching Podcast, we believe leadership isn't just about titles or positions of power. It's about behavior, collaboration, and creating real inspiring change. So let's get to it. Hey leaders, today I want to talk about something that we all struggle with and something that can hold us back from real impactful inclusion. We're talking about perfectionism. Perfectionism is the tendency to hold yourself to unrealistic high standards, often accompanied by fear of failure, self-criticism, and the belief that our worth depends on being flawless or achieving perfection. It's kind of hilarious when you think about it, but honestly, it's also deeply painful. For example, what led us here to this topic? I absolutely loved our last episode. It was exciting to speak about intersectionality. It always is for me. But I had a microphone issue and the sound just wasn't sounding. It wasn't perfect. Do you know how many times I recorded and re-recorded and tweaked and edited and erased and this and that? I literally kind of burned myself out. I didn't know if I would be able to record this episode. I hyperfocused for many days, and that drains my energy when I do that. Even just starting this podcast solo, I'm thinking back, I was terrified of being judged harshly, especially because of my intersectional identities. I've worried about saying the wrong thing, offending someone, not sounding smart enough. That quiet inner voice almost kept me from sharing, from making noise, from even starting. And you know, I'm not alone. I know you hear me out there. Perfectionism, especially those of us from underrepresented communities where we're already navigating a world not designed with us in mind, that extra layer of pressure to get it right can be paralyzing. This isn't just about high standards. It's a trauma response to systemic exclusion. Yes, I did say that. Yes, you heard right. It says you can't show up unless you're flawless. It says, hey, you, don't speak unless you have all the answers. It whispers, don't risk being seen as less than. But here's what makes perfectionism even more insidious. It doesn't just affect us individually. It creates ripple effects in all our relationships and team dynamics. When we're caught in perfectionism's grip, we often unconsciously project those same impossible standards onto others. We might micromanage team members, have big reactions to small mistakes children and adults make, or create environments where psychological safety and relationship building is impossible because nothing is ever good enough. But what if we flip that script? What might our life look like if, instead of chasing perfection, we embrace a culture of progress, growth, and showing up as our authentic selves? And talking about culture, did you know that, like we were saying, perfectionism isn't a personal hang-up, it's a cultural one. It's actually one of the toxic traits I talk about in the water we're all swimming in. Perfectionism can look like ambition. It's often fear of not being enough, fear of being seen, fear of falling short. And when you're already navigating systems not built for you, that pressure to be flawless, that gets heavier. Remember those book bags I was talking about in previous episodes? This need to never mess up, to always get it right, keeps us playing it safe. And when we play it safe, we don't get to live big, beautiful, adventurous lives. We shrink. We stay in our lane. We avoid the risk. We try to recreate lives we've already seen, but we also miss the magic. We hide our imperfect selves, and we keep others from showing up authentically too. It's not inclusion. That is the opposite of inclusion, because inclusion values diverse ways of thinking, being, and showing up. That is conformity, a part of the status quo. It keeps things looking good on the surface while nothing changes underneath. Think about that. If we're afraid of being wrong when practicing our inclusion efforts, we'll never inspire our clients, teams, or families to take risk or grow. Because we're not. We'll say we care, but we won't act. We'll stay in our heads tweaking the plan, rewriting the sentence, waiting for the exact right way to say the thing, instead of just starting the damn conversation. I get it, coaches. And in coaching is human-centered. It's a human-centered process. Inclusive coaching isn't about having all the answers. It's about creating brave spaces where people can stumble, struggle, and succeed while being met with genuine compassion and understanding. But here's where many of us might fall short. We tell our clients to embrace vulnerability and growth, yet we avoid the uncomfortable conversations ourselves. We encourage bravery in others while we stay silent. We preach diversity in leadership, but hesitate to add our pronouns to our Zoom screens because we're worried about what people think. Come on, y'all. It's all good. It's all good. Let's have this conversation. I will add a link in the show notes to why it's important to add your pronouns on your Zoom. When we as leaders only show up after we've polished away our rough edges, we inadvertently teach others they must do the same. We create environments where perfectionism becomes the unspoken standard to attend to. For individuals with marginalized identities, whether neurodivergent, Black, Indigenous, people of color, BIPOC, the acronym, LGBTQ2S+, for Two-Spirit, disabled or otherwise underrepresented, these perfectionist environments amplify existing pressures and barriers we already face daily. Real leadership means modeling what we champion. Live it to give it, coaches. If we advocate for inclusion but hide our own struggles, what are we really saying? If we preach love and authenticity but present a flawless facade, who can truly or who will truly want to connect with us? We simply cannot inspire from behind walls of perfection or lead transformation from silence and comfort. Hi, everybody. Have you ever considered how much more impactful your life or coaching practice could become? And what if that support came through an anti-oppression DEIA lens? Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? If the answer is yes, and I have a feeling it is, then you're exactly where you need to be. I'm Terri, an ICF, PCC, life and leadership coach specializing in neurodiversity. I provide tailored support to individuals, fellow coaches, groups, and organizations. Whether you're looking to grow personally, improve your coaching practice, or foster neuro-inclusivity in your organization, we can work together to create real positive change. So why wait? Contact me today for a complimentary starter consultation. My booking link is in the show notes. Enjoy the rest of the episode, and I look forward to connecting with you. So how do we let go of perfectionism inclusively? You know, I love to give you coaches some tools and practices, some strategies and things to take away. So here is 2 of them. My first strategy is that I've been actually doing a lot of work on different parts of myself. And let's see if this resonates with you as something maybe you can use. We all have different parts of us inside. And this comes from the internal family systems framework for coaches, of course, not therapists. Each part is trying to help us in its own way. So instead of pushing them away, we get curious. We visualize them. We name them. We talk to them. We feel them somewhere in our bodies. When I do this work, she's a part of all my parts. Can you believe that? But she's hiding behind a wall where I can't really see her. She's the lady in disguise. Like I had mentioned earlier, she's a real busybody, y'all. I told her that I got this. And I have to remind her when enough is enough and that she's enough, just as she is. Recently, when I got stuck on writing this very structure out, I paused. I noticed the tightness in my upper back. I did a quick check-in. I told Miss Lady in disguise, "Thank you so much for protecting me." Even just naming that part changed the energy. I was no longer battling myself. I was coaching myself. You know, the show notes are going to be so full this episode. Unlearning the lie that we must earn our worth. Second practice, mindful compassion. Another practice that has been huge for me, when I stumble, mispronounce something, go blank mid-sentence, I'm learning to say, hey, that's okay. You're doing your best right now. Christine Neff, I read her book years and years ago. Oh my gosh, just so amazing. Such a good book. She is a self-compassion researcher that reminds us that being human means we mess up. It's universal. So why do we treat it like it's a personal failure? When I catch myself spiraling after a slip up, I breathe and I say, "Oh, Terri, may you be happy. May you be kind. May you be free from suffering. May you be happy. May you be kind. May you be free from suffering." You see, you can't feel self-compassion and feel other emotions at the same time. And you know what that does? It calms my nervous system. Give it a try. It reminds me that perfection isn't the goal. My goal is connection. My values, walking through my values. As inclusive coaches, we model what it means to be brave and messy and kind to ourselves. Each mistake we allow becomes an invitation for others to show up real. And I'm thinking about all the coaches feeling fearful of making mistakes on maybe your inclusion journey. I see you. I hear about it all the time. Maybe you're staying silent or doing nothing out of fear. But guess what? Fear and doing nothing doesn't stop harm. It perpetuates the systems we're actually trying to change. Allyship isn't about getting it perfect. Here I go with allyship again. It's about staying engaged, even when it's uncomfortable. We will make mistakes. We might even hurt someone unintentionally. Listen, we will hurt other people unintentionally. That's actually a part of the work. Not a reason to step back, but an invitation to lean in with more humility and care, like mindfulness. The goal isn't to erase every negative thought. It's to notice, learn, and shift with compassion. Inclusion is the same. We're not aiming for perfection. We're practicing harm reduction. And it might take making mistakes to do that. Let's expect to mess up. Practice cultural humility. Lean in. Do not center your intentions. Center the impact. And unlearn and relearn. Let's grow from our mistakes together. People will not remember your polished script. They'll remember your willingness to show up. They'll remember your courage to try. And like Maya Angelou said, they will remember how you made them feel. So, I'm practicing something. I invite you to practice with me. Let's stop waiting for the perfect moment. Let's send the slightly messy email. Oh, that's so hard for me. Let's say the awkward thing in the meeting. Less challenging. Let's embrace when we say the awkward things in the meeting and laugh about it. Let's write the blog post. Record the messy podcast without practicing. Hi. Let's lead the workshop even if it isn't flawless. Let's redefine success, not as I nailed it, but as I showed up fully, authentically, imperfectly, and bravely. Because when we lead with imperfection, we unlock something more powerful. We unlock psychological safety. We unlock compassion, trust, and inclusion. That's what the best coaching relationships or all relationships are built on. Wow, as I wrap up this impromptu recording and this perfectly imperfect recording that I partnered with Miss Lady in Disguise on, just recording it. I want you to think of one place in your coaching practice or your life where you've been waiting for perfection. Maybe it's something you want to say to a client. We know how that is, right? Maybe it's a resource you've been meaning to share. Maybe it's the way you show up in your community. Now ask your perfection part. What's one small step? What's one brave thing we can do today, even if it's imperfect? That's what I asked, and here we are today. Every time you take action over perfection, you make space. You disrupt the status quo. You invite your whole self and others' whole selves to the table. Remember, coaches, we don't have to be the best. We just have to do our best. And we are all figuring it out together, one imperfect step at a time. Let's mess up together. If this podcast episode really resonated with you and you enjoyed it and you loved, my little tools and strategies and points of view and perspective, use your power. Give me a 5-star rating and a positive review. I would definitely appreciate it. It actually helps other coaches and people to find this podcast. Until next time, remember, inclusion doesn't just happen when we're sitting in front of our clients. It's a way of being all the time. So keep leading with inclusion in mind. Bye. Boom! Shakalaka! And that is a wrap on this episode of the Inclusive Leadership Coaching Podcast. If something in today's conversation got you thinking, I would love to hear about it. Connect with me on LinkedIn or at terridonohue.com. And hey, if you're enjoying this podcast or you really want to support me, go ahead and subscribe, leave a review, and stick around. There's plenty more to come. Next time, we'll dive into even more exciting conversations. Until then, keep leading with inclusion in mind.